everything else under the sun. My name is Kendall, and I'm here with my co-host.
Tony, aka Marvel H. Christ.
Carl Hernandez.
Yeah, no nickname. No,
No,
you
no
can't be.
nickname.
You
No,
can't
I
be
can't be.
Marvel.
I
Marvel
can't.
Moses. Marvel Moses was right there, bro.
It was. It
I
was.
mean, I came with my Jesus hair prepared, but he didn't stole it. So
Yeah.
now.
No, we got Deadpool in and out of the mask. Clearly, that's what's going on. Now we are back again, man. We are here to talk all about the Wii. We're doing another console retrospective. But before we get into that, man, top level, let's just like get the elephant out the room, bro. Deadpool was amazing. I just want to say this on air. Like I know we was just talking about it off air, but goddamn, what a movie! Like I mean, we're not going to spoil anything. I just wanted to get that out there. If you have not gone to see that movie, there's a reason that this man is wearing a Deadpool mask right now. And I
Well,
know this is not the first time, but yeah, this time it makes sense. This time it's appropriate.
always
But
appropriate.
fair. That is fair, depending on what activities you got going on. But
Yeah.
we are not here to talk about Deadpool, unfortunately. I would love to. We might have to do an off-topic episode again, like just to do a spoiler cast or something. But we're here to discuss a very interesting and very divisive console, the Nintendo Wii. Nintendo's most controversial console, I would say. Probably their most successful as well. I think the Switch has passed it, but goddamn, what a crazy time for video games. I think that like the industry shifted for the Wii for real. Like I want to hear from you guys. Like, what is your impression of the Wii in 2024? Let's start with Carl. You never hear.
Uh, well, thank you. I personally think the Wii was a fantastic console, and I don't think it was controversial in my opinion. It was very unique when it came out, and they literally turned the industry on its head with the Wii, because the Wii, it was all in their marketing. Um, it goes back to the "we would like to play," which was a very inclusive marketing strategy,
Mhm.
which really worked because it got everybody involved. Even when I was working, I work with people with disabilities, and also work with nursing homes as well. And when I say that every nursing home bought a Wii, because of the benefits it had for range of motion exercise,
Mm.
it was very impactful. And it was very simplistic for people with intellectual disabilities to pick it up and play as well, because a lot of motion controls and none of the games were too complicated. It was simple stuff like Wii Bowling and Wii Sports. And it was very enjoyable and something that everybody could play as a community. I honestly think the Wii was one of the best consoles of our generation just because of its inclusivity. I think I said that word right, but
Yeah.
inclusiveness. We'll go with that word. Yeah.
There you go.
But
Nailed
yeah,
it.
and not to mention it had banger games on it too. Like the Wii has some really banger games. I don't want to hog the mic right now, but I just want to point out it produced one of my favorite gaming franchises in the Xenoblade Chronicles.
That is true. You know, sometimes I think we kind of forget like what games actually originated on the Wii. It's like any Nintendo console, but especially like the Wii and the Wii U. But yeah, that's facts. All right, Tony, what is your impression of the Wii now in the current day and age?
I mean, I think I remember it more, and I guess this is me being a kind of a like I've always said an antisocial gamer. I just remember that kind of being the pinnacle of game preservation. Like the
Mm.
virtual console was a fucking monster, man. I mean, we could do everything on that. NES, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64. I think they put Game Boy on that, didn't they? They definitely put
Yeah,
Sega Genesis on it.
I
But
think
yeah, man,
so.
you had everything. And I mean, you had to pay for a lot of the shit, but it was real affordable. And it just like it wasn't a drip feed like it is with the Switch.
Right.
Like we're kind of at their mercy of when they decide they want to release something right now with NSO, where
Mm.
the virtual console was here's a bunch of games on it. Just go nuts.
Yep.
Um, and I think that's something that we're missing is game companies willing to do that. And I think it's kind of ironic that we always talk about how much Nintendo hates its fans, but they kind of did the best job of giving the old shit that we wanted.
Yeah, that is facts, and that's something that we don't really talk enough about, like how great the virtual console was. They did have some very rare stuff that it's hard to get your hands on now, even still, you know. So I agree with you both, and I appreciate the positive light that you're casting on the Wii. But Carl, in particular, I will not let you rewrite history, sir, because the Wii
Okay.
was indeed a controversial console. It may be a great console. It had a lot of innovations, but controversy, yes, that joint had people mad. It had people talking. It had people divisive. It wasn't an HD, girl. It had a fucking remote for a controller. It was controversial as hell. Like, but it was also accessible as hell. So you had like people that never played games jumping into the experience for the first time. You know, like you said, like the nursing home thing was such a huge thing. Every household had a Wii. My aunt still has a Wii, and I don't know if she's owned any other console ever. You know, like, but she'll break out that joint not just for Wii Sports, but for like Mario Kart. You know, like it'll have people playing other stuff. But that's I get your point overall, but it was absolutely controversial. And there's a lot of like, oh, this is when Nintendo went too casual. That was the scuttlebutt at the time.
Well, that's where your money is. Honestly, that's the business
Yeah.
move right there. Like, you
Mhm.
want to stay with the hardcore and make this much, or do you want to play with everybody we would like to play and make this much?
You're
We
absolutely right.
made so
Yo.
much money. They were allowed to make a failure right after it. They're like, nah, we're cool because we still got that
We
Wii
let
money.
that shit rock because the Wii was that good. Yeah.
Straight up. It probably only failed because the Wii was so successful and it confused people. Like it was too close to the branding. And they couldn't go away from the branding because the Wii was the Wii. Like that joint was it was just inevitable. Like it was everywhere.
I
Yeah.
also want to hit on one of the like I want to hit your counterpoint because you say yes, it wasn't HD. The graphics on the Wii were atrocious,
Yes.
but remember when PS3 first came out, right? And that monster of a price tag, and everybody was like, "That shit's too expensive." Oh my lord! So we said, "Oh, we hear you. You don't want to spend a lot of money, so we're not going to put it in HD. We're not going to put a DVD drive on it." And we're gonna make it as affordable as possible so
Yeah.
we can sell quantity. And
That's facts.
it worked.
Like a charm.
If you didn't want to spend all that money, don't complain. You want all the graphics, go buy the PS3. It's just plain and simple. You knew what you were getting, so don't cry about it. Like the graphics, no, this shit was cheap. It was dirt cheap.
Straight up. Honestly, the Wii is when it became like, okay, you get your PlayStation or Xbox, and then you get your Nintendo console. Like they
Yep. That was
have
the first time it really
that
became
was
a thing.
yeah, because GameCube was swinging with Xbox and PlayStation. Like no matter what people say, like that joint was trying to compete, and it was in a lot of ways it was competing, but it wasn't necessarily staying at pace. Like it was a console that should have got all the ports that the PS2 and Xbox got, but it didn't because it was powerful enough for them. Um, the Wii is definitely when they were like, yeah, nah, we're good. We're over here. We could care less about anything else you're talking about. You're absolutely right. It worked like a charm. But when you make those cuts, there are cuts, and those do exist. So we definitely got to delve. I don't want to blow the whole combo at the start. But yeah, go ahead.
They made necessary cuts because they cut the graphics, but they gave you the ability to play backwards compatibility. And
Yes.
they gave you a virtual console. That shit could play those little ass GameCube games. They had all the control slots up top.
Absolutely. That shit's amazing. Do you care more about one thing than the other is the convo? You know what I mean? Like a lot of people aren't going to go back and play those old games. Most of us we were still playing Melee. You know what I mean? So it was just they had to put them GameCube controller slots on there. But
And the memory card slots had 2 memory card slots.
but like I said, the caveats exist. So it's always like, oh yeah, they took this, but they gave you this. If I happen to not give a fuck about playing old shit, I wish Mario Galaxy was in HD. Then fuck all the old games. Like I don't care. Like I'm giving this console a 6, or whatever. But like I said, we have some interesting. I think these combos are going to come back up as we get our rankings. So let's go ahead and jump into the actual breakdown of the ranking here. So, as you guys know, we go by 5 categories. We do console, which is appearance and capabilities of the console itself. Controller, which is pretty self-explanatory. Games, which is the whole game library, ranking the library, the classics, um, graphics, again, pretty self-explanatory, how the graphics look, and then impact, which is kind of like the interesting one that's kind of open to interpretation, where we talk about the overall impact of the console on the industry and at the time. Like you can talk sales, you can talk, legacy, whatever the case. So with all that being said, we can start with console, which is appearance, capabilities. Tony, I'll let you start on that one. What would you give the Wii as a console?
That's a 7. It's just
Mm,
it's a box, the white box.
okay.
That's it, or black, depending on how when you got it. Um,
Yeah.
Nothing particularly special. I mean, the stand had a cool like little disappearing kind of dip.
Yep.
If you sat it in there right, and it kind of looked like it was slanted. Um, but there wasn't anything particularly special about the way it looked. Capabilities, I mean, graphics is ass, but I've never been a graphics hound, so I didn't give a fuck about none of
Hmm.
that. But beyond that, yeah, it's just, average.
Okay. Okay. I will go next because I want to argue with you. I'm giving the console a 9 because I think that simple white box is fucking beautiful. Like I think the simplicity of that shit is gorgeous by itself. And then you slot it into the dock. It's very similar to the Switch. Now it's got that angular design. Now it's got some like this is if the PS4 is nice, then the Wii is nice in that dock. You know what I mean? Like all it is an angular, simple colored box. And I think it had like that my favorite feature of the Wii, that blue glow when you had a fucking update, bro. Like that glow out of the disc slot actually was like such aesthetically pleasing look. Like
Aesthetically
just
pleasing my ass, nigga, at 2 o'clock in the morning. That
I
shit was
love
hell.
that. It's nostalgic to me to have that. Like that's like ambience. Like I need some LED lights to replicate that shit because I loved it. The GameCube slot, like the controller slots at the top. Never seen that again. Like backwards compatible with the controllers is crazy because you knew you were going crazy with this fucking controller. But yeah, I'm giving it a 9. I'm actually like very high on the Wii as a console at this point in time. All right, Carl, what do you think?
Okay, so I agree with both of you that it is a box, but also in simplicity, it is amazing, and I like the stuff on top.
Mm,
But this is a personal pet peeve I have with Nintendo, and I'm giving it a 5 for this reason.
mm.
I hate with a passion that just about every Nintendo console has that badass power brick that you gotta when you plug in just unnecessarily. Like I hate it.
Forgot all about
So
that.
it loses so many points just for that brick and the sensor, the little bar for the Wiimote.
Yeah,
That cord was
That
obnoxious,
thin ass cord.
yeah,
and it
yeah.
was thin. It will break if you sneeze on it the wrong way.
Oh my
Like you
God.
have people taking candles and using that as their sensor bar because they're like, I ain't messing with that. Oh,
Yeah.
when you're using candlelight instead of the actual tool because you ain't trying to mess with it, that's a problem.
Oh my God. I forgot that candles were
The candle
involved.
trick worked too.
It
It
did.
did.
It
This
worked
shit's
really
crazy.
well.
So my only argument, because you made a lot of points, my only argument is that, bro, I tripped over that fucking sensor bar cord 80 million times. My shit probably still works. If I can find that thing in a box somewhere, I can plug it in right now and it'll be picking up everywhere I go to that day. I don't know what it is that Trent was not trying to get, but it was flimsy and it was terrible. So I'm not mad at that.
So
Sheesh.
as for aesthetic, yeah, the console looks nice and sleek, but for everything that goes to it, it's a disaster in my opinion. So it's right in the middle of 5.
Okay. Okay. I'm not mad at it. That's an interesting perspective. I totally forgot about that power block, but I can picture it now. And that thing was like it was bigger than it was bigger than their handhelds. Like it's just crazy. All
I mean,
right,
at
so
least it
let's
didn't have an annoying ass light like the Xbox.
true. True that. Like why? But we can go ahead and move on to another interesting feature of the Wii, which is the controller. Arguably the selling point of the whole console. I think I'm gonna jump in and take this one first. I think I'm gonna give this one a 9 as well. The controller is the thing where at the time I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Why is it shaped like this? How am I gonna play anything on this? You know what I mean? But they were bold for this shit, man. Like this was a crazy move. And for what they set out to do, It's amazing, especially when you bring the motion plus into the picture, where you're actually picking up my movements and not just tracking like the light that I'm casting on the sensor bar. I think the controller, I have to give it a pretty high ranking just off the strength of them shooting for the absolute stars. We'll never see another one like it and succeeding. Like this is why the console sold as much as it did. So I'm gonna give it a 9. I don't know if that's crazy, but whoever wants to take it next, you guys just jump in there. Free
Go
for
ahead,
all.
Carl.
I think okay. So I've said this opinion before. The controller for me gets a 10.
Mhm.
Still to this day say the Wiimote is one of the best and most comfortable controllers I ever held as
It's
in a
awesome.
video game. It's up there with Dreamcast for me.
Mm,
Like the not only was it really comfortable in your hands, but playing it made me feel so involved in the games. I can still picture me playing Metroid Prime 3 Corruptions, the nunchuck actually doing this to do the blue beam whip and
yeah.
then aim it. Yo, like I would prefer to do this all day for my first person shooters than Halo when I had to do something. And don't get me started, Zelda, man. I was like slashing, doing the verticals.
Mm,
I really, really, really loved the Wii control, and with the Wii Motion Plus, it became so much more accurate.
yeah.
And like it's one of the best controllers, and it felt really comfortable in your hands, whether you hold it with the nunchuck or the with the remote, or even sideways with 1-2 buttons. It was really, really comfortable no matter how you used it. The placement of the
I-
B button had the little groove for the finger. Like
yeah.
even if you're doing a trigger, you can like that. Even if you hold sideways, you can still push it nicely. Like the buttons were smooth, the paint never faded, and the D-pad was comfortable. Like the Wiimote was one of the greatest controllers of all time. I personally like it better than the Switch thingies. They're really small and annoying. I hate them.
I will give you one thing. It's definitely way better sideways than the Joy-Cons.
Man,
They're small. I've used them plenty. Like they work, but they're tiny. You know what I mean? It's like Donkey Kong, like trying to, you know what I mean? Like it's crazy. But Tony, how do you feel about the controller?
no, I gave it a 10 too.
Okay.
Yeah, it like Carl said, it's probably one of the most comfortable controllers. I mean, to me, the 360 controller is the gold standard for gaming controllers. And I would say it's just as comfortable as that. I mean, it felt good holding in one hand, which I think is the key. If that's, that's the shit that they were going for,
Yeah.
was being able to play that shit one-handed. And quite honestly, I don't think Wii Sports works without that controller. Like a
Nah.
standard controller for Wii Sports, it doesn't do the job. You had to be able to. I mean, I can't tell you how many hours I put in a baseball on that shit, or going over somebody's house and whooping their ass and bowling. Just
Yeah.
just the way everything felt like I'm actually playing the game and it's not just me putting in inputs. Um, so yeah, I'd have to give it a 10. As like Carl said, it's one of the best controllers ever.
Hey man, I never expected the controversial thing about my ranking to be having it too low. Like that's crazy. Okay, I respect it. I respect it. Yeah, no,
Hating ass nigga.
I'm over here underrating the hell out of it, man. It's okay though. I feel like y'all almost got me tempted to bump it up to a 10. I'm not gonna lie, because those are some compelling arguments, and I really don't even know why I gave it a 9 instead of a 10. Like I
Because
think I
you're a
was just
hater. That's why.
oh, okay. You know what? Now I'm gonna leave it at a 9, and I'm thinking about 8. So we'll go ahead and move on.
Just proving our fucking point.
Yeah.
Yep,
Hater.
hell yeah. You see, you bred this. This is how it happens. This is how it happens, internet. Stop doing that to people. Um, but I feel like we're gonna move on to what should be a very interesting combo for sure. If nothing else, I feel like this one is interesting. The game library. How do we feel about the Wii's collection of games? The good, the bad, as a library overall and for the high peaks, you know what I mean? Again, I'm gonna let y'all free for all, whoever wants to take it first, because I'm not taking this one.
Man, look, there is no console except for maybe the Switch and what it's done with the eShop that has a higher level of shovelware than what is on the Wii. I mean,
Yep,
there is some crap on the Wii.
yep,
And with all of that being said, the heat that's on that motherfucker, it's real deal heat. I
yeah,
mean, they came out the gate with Red Steel, which to this day I still think is one of the best games on that catalog. I don't care what nobody says. I wish they didn't go with the Western feel for Red Steel 2. It was still dope, but I really liked like the Japanese style shit
Yeah.
with the first one. But man, I mean, Zelda, both Mario Galaxies, Brawl was on there.
Yep.
You had Metroid Prime on it. I just there was so much that you just like you couldn't not play.
Facts.
So I guess for like even taking into account the massive fuck ton of shovelware that is on that console, I'd have to get at 8.
Nice. Okay. I'm not mad at the 8. Carl, you want to take this next?
I do. I'm torn about my number right now though, because
Mm,
I agree with Tony that there's a lot of garbage on it, but there's also a lot of fire on it too. Like I said, it
yeah.
produced one of my favorite gaming franchises. The Xenoblade Chronicles is fantastic. Metroid Prime 3, fantastic.
Yep.
Zelda, both of them, Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword, fantastic. The Mario games, great. The virtual console, don't even get me started on that. Like this, it just
Man.
brought all the classics. It even had like little random janks, like the last story, like just random games like
Yes.
that were good on it.
Man. Yes. Good game. Zack and Wiki or whatever.
Yeah, man, no more heroes when you just
Yep.
jab yourself with the damn remote to charge your sword up. Like,
Oh man, good times.
and
Okay.
can't forget the elephant in the room. Wii Sports was goaded and it was free. It was basically
Free
the demo
came
for the
with the shit.
console.
Bro,
People
it was
bought consoles to get Wii Sports.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I felt like a bun like you buy this as the thing you buy for the nursing home. They don't need nothing else but this console, the game it comes with, maybe another controller. Thanks.
And got Mario Kart when you put the little steering wheel accessory. I'm like,
So
see,
I low key learned how to drive because of that game.
No, thank
I,
you.
I wanted to give it an 8 or a 9, but hearing myself say all this, I'm going to give the catalog a 10.
Okay.
There's a lot of good, like,
Check out the big
it's,
balls on Brett.
I mean, like, the catalog is, like I say, they produce, like, they just threw everything at the board and say something's got to stick. And a lot of stuck. A lot of it stuck.
A lot of it did stick. That's okay. Hey, listen, I respect all rankings, even if they're wrong. So I no, I respect that actually, because there are some like crazy, there are some classics on that console that can't be on another console. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that is
Mario
special.
Galaxy can't be on another console.
That's not true. I got Mario Galaxy on the Switch, but it's not the
Yeah,
same.
but exactly. That's my point.
It's not the same. I just wanted to fucking be an asshole. But yeah, no. My game, honestly, I'm still locked in where I was. I'm gonna give the game a solid, confident 7. I know y'all went a lot higher than I did.
You used a lot of adjectives for somebody who was so solid and confident.
Yeah.
Solid, confident, very stern, and final 7 out of 10 for the game library. I agree with you guys. The classics are really, really there. But man, you gotta parse through some bullshit, bro. Like you gotta,
Man.
it gets real bad. The Wii looks like a mobile phone catalog. Like this shit has an app store. You know what I mean? Like it gets crazy. Like the shit that they greenlit, I can't give it a pass. It's like, and it's not like on some like every console has shovelware, but the Wii is shovelware. Like the Wii, it is the quintessential. Like buy this console, you may never own a brand name thing for it. A single
I
like
blame the Wii for Just Dance.
facts. That's where that comes from. Like
Nope.
that era. I
What's
mean,
the res-
maybe the Connect did that.
No,
The
no,
Connect.
no, no, no. I know. Go back to Just Dance. Put some respect on Just Dance name. First of all,
Fuck that game.
you may not like it. There's a lot of motherfuckers out there that love Just Dance.
Them people ain't got nothing to do with me. Fuck that game.
Man,
Right.
like,
Them
no,
folks like that's like people say, man, I'm hungry. It's starving people over there. I don't mean I don't want a sandwich, motherfucker.
Bro, I
but,
think it
but just because you don't like it doesn't mean it wasn't like quintessential for the console.
I didn't say it wasn't important. I just said fuck that game.
that is different than this game is trash.
Drake can rap, but fuck Drake.
That's
different.
true.
That's
But
different.
they also had Dance Dance Revolution with the dance mat that went with the Wii. I know because I have it in this house still.
Yeah, that's awesome. I respect it. And with your crazy ass collection, Carl, I believe that.
Everybody has one Wii accessory still. I still have my Guitar Hero shit.
Bro, I had the steering wheel for Mario Kart just sitting around. No Wii remote, just the steering wheel. Like, where am I driving with this thing? But the Wii remote steering wheel, I just want to take a minute to say this. I think people hate on it way too hard. Like, I feel like when I first started playing Mario Kart, I was cooking with that damn steering wheel. Like, I was whipping like
I
I
didn't know
was
people
driving.
hated it.
If for some reason, but then the thing is, I stopped playing with the steering wheel, started playing with controller, went back to it, and I've been trash since. Like, I've never been able to get back that feel for it. You know what I mean? So I kind of could understand how people weren't good with it, but when I first played it, it felt so fluid and like
Yeah, I
perfect.
never went back. So maybe that's what it is. Because once I figured out how to play with that shit, I never went back.
Yep. It just makes that Mario Kart feel so special. Like I said,
Yeah.
that's why those games really feel like their own thing. Like, you got random classics that you might not even realize. Like Donkey Kong Country Returns was a Wii game. That comes out for Switch this year. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's some games on that console that really hit.
Link's crossbow training.
That's why it's got a
Yeah.
7. Seeing
Yeah,
that
that's
big ass box and I was working at GameStop at this time. That big fucking box sitting on the top of the shelf, man, with Link there acting like he's about to go on a real adventure. Like, go sit your ass
on
down.
rails.
Bro, what are you doing? You don't even use the crossbow in the game.
I
Let's
wouldn't mind seeing Red Steel make a return to just put it on the Switch.
I feel that. Yeah, nah, the Switch actually has really incredible like motion controls. So they could really make a lot of that Wii stuff work if they were bold enough to just like commit to that the way they do it like Mario Parties and stuff.
Their little controllers are too small and stupid to make it work.
If you hold them forward, as long as you don't have to turn them sideways, they're fine. That's funny.
It don't feel the same.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
No,
I mean, I like my Joy-Cons, but I mean, I'm telling you that motion control, once you really realize, like in Zelda, realizing like that leaving it on actually makes me aim way better. Like when I'm using it to aim, it's actually pretty intuitive and great.
Oh, I agree that it's way more accurate. I'm just saying that it's
It's tiny.
uncomfortable.
It's
and it's
tiny as
tiny.
hell.
And it got the
Yes.
little buttons on the side and not
Facts.
like it's stupid. Like it's a bad design.
You just reminded me of something else I wanted to bring up about the Wii controllers. The classic controller was so fire. That shit was so good feeling. That
Yeah.
little fucking bean, like pill-shaped controller. I feel like the classic controller became the classic controller Pro with the little handles, and then that became the Pro controller for the Wii, or the Switch. So kind of led to that. So shout out to that controller. But we're moving on to the category 4 out of 5. Graphics. I'll jump in and then start with this one, guys, if you guys don't mind. This was getting a hot 5 off the presses for me, buddy. The Wii's graphics. Now, it could have been lower, straight up, like, because I was mad that they didn't go HD. Like, I'm like, that's the one. It just pissed me off. But the art style that they use for their games, like Nintendo's vibe, like they're gonna make up for it in their art direction and the aesthetics that they have for the games. Like Mario Galaxy's still beautiful, you know what I mean? These games, they did what they needed to with what they had, but still giving it a 5 just off the strength of y'all cut y'all foot off on purpose to focus on this other thing that I gave like a 9. So yeah, this gets a 5 because yeah, it's bad. But anybody can go next.
That's a
Let's
solid
go, Tony.
3 for me.
I feel
I mean, it's just like, and again, I'm not a graphics hound, but the shit didn't look great. The thing is that if you're making your console, and Nintendo's famous for this, to where it almost feels like you're the only ones who can take true advantage of the technology, there's kind of a problem there.
yeah.
Like, are you not sharing secrets with other people, or are you just telling people it's not as powerful as what it should be? Because like you even think with the Switch, you mean to tell me motherfuckers made Tears of the Kingdom on that, but
Man.
we can't get a decent port of Madden?
Right.
Like, we
Facts.
can't even get a decent port of the soccer game.
Look at that Metroid Prime 4 trailer there. Everybody was like, is this Switch 2? No, that's Switch.
No,
That's just Nintendo.
that's
That's
Switch.
first party. Yeah.
That is a late stage Switch game.
Yep.
And that's, to me, that takes something off of it because it's like, okay, we know Mario gonna look good, we know Zelda gonna look good, we know Smash Brothers is gonna look good, but Call of Duty is gonna look like gray mud
Yeah, or whatever.
unless you're
Yeah.
standing perfectly still.
Yep. Facts. The Witcher is not gonna. It's gonna be blurred the whole time. Control, nah. Yeah.
Uh, the Witcher on a Wii would cause that thing to explode.
Now it apparently runs pretty well, like for some reason, but
On Switch, it actually
or
runs
the
really
Switch.
well.
Yeah.
No,
The Switch
I
version,
have it
but
on Switch. But if
yeah.
you ran The Witcher on the Wii, yeah, that thing would blow the fuck up. But yeah, Switch
Facts.
actually runs pretty decent. I can't remember the name of the company that does some of those ports, but they actually do a really good job. Like they did a good job with the I think the Skyrim port was pretty decent. But
Mhm.
Witcher actually runs pretty damn good.
I think Nintendo might have bought them, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember the name either, but I think they just
Was
recently
it
bought a
Blue Point?
company. Nah, that's
No, no,
PlayStation.
that's no, it's Blue
Yeah.
something though, I think.
That's funny. All the blue companies, but I feel you. I feel you on that on the Wii. Okay, Carl, what do you think of the graphics?
So I agree 100% with Tony, because this is my first of all I'm giving it a 4. Now
Okay.
the reason why it gets a 4 is Nintendo were complete assholes because they knew how to optimize the graphics for their shit,
Yep.
but when it came to everyone else's shit, like I said, look like trash cans. And the biggest example of this is I'm gonna go back to it. Once again, Xenoblade. Xenoblade was a Switch exclusive, yes. But the first Xenoblade was they just made it on. I'm the Wii exclusive. Yeah, they made it for the Wii, but they didn't really have the backing of Nintendo. It was just the game they said we're gonna make it exclusive for. So Nintendo was just like, all right, go ahead, yeah, you can make the game, and the game looks ugly as fuck. It's fun as hell. It looks ugly as fuck. I'm gonna give you both a homework assignment. When you get a chance, look at the original Xenoblade's graphics. See Shulk's face, and then look at the remake they did on the Switch, or even on the 3DS. No, look at the remake on the 3DS. How's the 3DS gonna look better?
That's a shame. That's
Low key and insanely powerful handheld.
I always said that was a little GameCube, man. Straight up. But that's crazy.
The point remains the remake they did for the 3DS is better than the Wii graphically. But then you could put Mario Galaxy out, looks beautiful. You put fucking Twilight Princess out, beautiful. But every other game that's not Nintendo made looks like doo-doo, you get a 4. 4 for negligence. Because you could have made them look good. You chose not to.
Oh shit. You guys are hilarious. I feel like I had the same type of argument, but I might have given them too much grace for their art styles because y'all making it seem like malicious. Like,
I think
it felt like that.
Yeah, that's
they
good.
did that
And
completely on purpose.
Honestly, I kind of already looked at it that way, just off the strength of fuck this like graphical leap that we're all taking as a society. We don't care. Like that's where the negligence came into me. But when you're doing that and you're like, nah, but on our side, when we make some shit, it's actually gonna look pretty good. But we don't care though. Yeah, nah, that's crazy.
Like they do some shit and it looks on par with whatever Sony and Xbox are doing.
Man,
like that's kind of nuts.
It is. It really
They're the type of motherfuckers that live in a condominium, condo community, right? They see the neighbor's house on fire. That shit can easily spread to their side. They're like, nah, but we got fire extinguishers over here. And it's just like, anytime they start catching fire, they put it out. And just that's what they did there. Instead of just passing the good fortune along, because the other people making the money too.
Yeah. I made some great points. Man, Nintendo. I know it's been years. We gotta move on. I'm gonna pretend like it's not
because it's not a problem anymore.
Yeah, because I'm gonna act like Nintendo is like morally great now. You know, they're always looking out for people. They don't hide who's publishing their games. You know, they're not doing anything weird.
That's a whole nother. I still don't fucking understand that. That's just weird.
It is strange, and we'll never get an explanation. But them Zeldas be popping though. But
I guess we'll be playing Echoes of Wisdom.
Straight up, honest to God, like, man, it's crazy. Like, it all feels like the legacy. This era of Nintendo feels like it harkens back to that turn. Like, we've been trying to get here the whole time. So I'm gonna just jump to our last category, which is impact, and kick us off. Because obviously, I'd be shocked if it's not 10s across the board. I'm not trying to like pressure anybody's ranking, but the Wii shut shit down. Like, Microsoft made the Kinect and Sony made them stupid magic wands because Nintendo did what they
Fucking
did,
move
bro.
controller.
Like you have never seen motherfuckers just be like, we're gonna copy you because that shit's working. And that's what happened, bro. Like the impact was just what it was. Like it shifted Nintendo for better and for worse. Like it put the emphasis on let's have fun, let's like make it so that everybody wants to play this. And that not only put them on pace to make some of the most fun experiences that you'll ever have, some of the most unique, but it also put them on pace to just ignore what people actually were looking for and just like be like, no, we're gonna give you an innovation like that we just came up with, like we'll talk about the Wii U later. But yeah, no, there's so much that like there's so much trickling down from the Wii. Just the fact that they were trying to reinvent the wheel so hard. And in a lot of ways they did. Whether or not that was a good thing or not, well, it's up to interpretation. But I'm gonna give it a 10 just off the fact that they shook the game up. Let you guys take it from there.
I'll let you go. I'll let you go first. You want me to go first? Or you want to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So obviously the impact is a 10. I actually opened up the meeting or the podcast really about the impact it had on like we would like to play the marketing. It was in nursing homes, agencies that support people with intellectual disabilities purchasing them. Now I want to dive a little bit more deeper in that because you're right. They did so good that other people tried to copy them, including Xbox with the Kinect. So with that being said, the agency I used to work for also said, okay, let's get a whole bunch of 360s, which is a lot more expensive, and get the Kinect, which is also more expensive. And let's see how we can work out with the people with IDD and the seniors and all that stuff as well. When I say that shit failed, and they're like, nah, give me the Wii back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened. So now I'm sitting here with an army full of expensive ass Kinects and Xboxes that I can't do shit with, and that was a hit.
Shit, I wish I knew. I came and got one from you.
Straight up, because that's crazy. People do weird stuff on like PC, hacking stuff with their Kinect. I don't know the ins and outs, but like the homebrew community has gone crazy with Kinect.
100%. Like the Kinect as a gaming device. Trash cans fail. The Kinect as a device that like everybody, the military use Kinect to make their initial drones.
Yeah, as a cheap motion sensor camera. Yeah.
As a motion sensor camera, no, to actually like control like drones technology and things like that. Like the military was using Kinect for that purpose. Like
I believe it.
Microsoft actually made a weapon by accident,
which is nuts.
They tried to make a video. They tried to make a game console and they made a weapon.
Somehow still speaks to the impact of the Wii, which is crazy. Wow stuff, man.
And poor Sony, they made nothing.
Nah, they made some move ones, and then they tried to bring them back with the PSVR. I think
they tried to sneak that back in there.
Yeah. I don't know how well that worked. But
when I say they made nothing, I mean those move ones were so trash that no one cared about them.
Yeah, they basically made nothing.
Can you name one game that had the move ons? I don't want to get off topic. Can you name one game with the move ons?
Oh my god.
Nope.
I swear.
Why try?
On God is my witness, I believe in my heart that I could, if I had like a full day. I think I could pull something out if we really had like time like that.
Here's the thing. I want a full day, but I want a 24/7 camera on you so you're not Googling shit.
Like, I'm taking a goddamn test here. Like, I'm over here.
Yeah, no, I'm
just sitting there like this the whole day. Just
you ain't got to lie about it. You ain't got to lie about it.
That quiz show one. I can't remember the name of it.
You ain't lie about it.
Anyway, Tony, what do you think of the impact of the goddamn Nintendo Wii?
I mean, it's obviously a 10. I mean, this is the pivot I talked about in the GameCube episode. This was the pivot point where Nintendo stopped making traditional consoles, and started going into that experimental lane. And quite honestly, it was a good thing because how much more advanced. Like you look at what we're getting with the PS4, the PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series S and X. Like how much more innovative can we actually get when it's just a box and a controller? So they're trying some other shit. Even with the Switch, it is technically a straightforward console, but it's a handheld. You can still take your shit off. You can take the Joy-Cons off. You can do your thing with that. There's still some level of innovation and creativity coming from them, and that's all because the Wii was successful. Now, the other side of that impact is that we got shit that didn't work. Like I bought a Connect because I just thought, hey, if they're trying that shit over there, maybe it's gonna work because the Wii was really fun and getting some motion controlled shit on something with some high quality graphics might be fire.
Right. Right.
Now I sold my Connect like 2 weeks later
Of course.
because it wasn't hitting. It wasn't the same. And that speaks to the power of creativity versus necessity. Like Microsoft felt they had to do that. Sony felt they had to do that, but there wasn't actual like not to get too deep with it, but there wasn't no
No, you
love
did.
behind it.
You actually
You know what I
did
mean?
get pretty
Like,
deep there.
it wasn't no love behind it. So they weren't doing this from a place of we want to advance some level of technology. This thing is making a shit ton of money from somebody else. I too would like to make a shit ton of money. And I can't blame them for it, but if you don't know what you're doing and why you're doing it, the shit ain't gonna work. And it didn't. So now we get to a point where Nintendo doesn't know what the fuck to do next. And they give us the Wii U and it breaks. But because it bricked, we got the Switch.
Right.
So like everything kind of stems, like everything we see now stems from the popularity and the success of the Wii.
Like directly. You see, honestly, Nintendo is such a unique case because you can do real parallels. Like the Wii U, first the DS comes, and that's 100% them like Wii-ifying their handhelds. Like, oh, this has touch controls. Back before everything had touch controls, it was a
Right.
big deal. Like it was a gimmick. Then you have the Wii U, which literally feels like a dev kit Switch. Like this shit feels like you broke into Nintendo's office and you stole like an OG Switch that you weren't
Yep.
supposed to be playing. So you can see like the direct progression, like between the DS and the Wii U, how they kind of bled back into the Wii U line. The controller turned into like it's direct. The influence has never been so straight and clear cut, like honestly. And for such an innovative company, even going back to the GameCube, we talk a lot about how they kind of broke everything open when it comes to their games on the GameCube. Like Mario Get the Water Pack, Double Dash has two racers, everything, every game that you can think of, aside from maybe like Smash just got better, but they all kind of like try to flip the script and do something innovative. So they were kind of on that path already. The Wii made it an integral part of the console instead of making it a gimmick in the game. So it's not going to be like everybody's got to come up with one and it's going to hit or it's going to miss. No, this is the controller you're using. Make me a game and we'll see what happens. And some people make games that we talk about to this day. So I appreciate the fact that we all had it at a time.
I want to talk about two short. I know we're running low, but talk about two short things. The first thing is I want to bring up the fact that people forget Microsoft didn't make one Connect; they made two Connects.
They sure did.
The first Connect failed horribly. They said, "Okay, we're gonna give it a whole generation, a whole console cycle, and we're gonna try again." And the second Connect failed. How you fail to beat the Wii when it's way back there on your second try?
It's crazy.
They stopped selling Connect. I have Connect 2 downstairs still. That shit don't even work. Like it don't do nothing. You can't even use the voice control. They stopped servicing it. It's a paperweight.
That is unfortunate.
That
is
buying them things back.
They should be apologizing and offering you money just for being a beta tester.
Yeah. So that was the first comment I made about how Microsoft fucked up twice. At least Sony got the message to say, fuck it, we ain't doing that shit again. But the second thing is, I heard some unfortunate Wii U schmear. And yes, the Wii U is, I know this is not a topic, but it gets a bad rap, in my opinion, because it's way better.
Hold on. Save that for the Wii U episode. If we're gonna get somebody to defend that motherfucker,
I was about to say,
I will.
Save that.
I really wanted to cut you off, but I couldn't bring myself. So I was like, I want to hear.
Oh no, because it's gonna be two motherfuckers on there shitting on that console, so we're gonna need some balance.
Listen, man, I got. You know me, I'm very much like, oh, y'all try to do something, but we're gonna have that comment.
I'll hold my tongue. Yes. Just know there is a friend, and I'm a friend of the Wii U.
And I will give you credit because you have one sitting in your living room. Like you can speak to that experience right now. Like,
I played it during the pandemic.
I respect it. I really
Was
do.
it that bad? It was that bad.
I
It
was
was
that
that
bored.
fun. It was that fun. The Wii U had some games on it that people forget
That
about.
that's sure the voice of somebody who believes what they're saying and
Look,
isn't
man,
trying to convince us
I
of
loved
anything.
Arkham Origins on it, but that's about it.
Man,
And why play every all right. We
I'm gonna
had we
learn y'all
used
See,
something
it's
next time.
exactly,
let's
I'm gonna
not
exactly.
learn
yeah
y'all
let's not
something next
let's not
time.
let's not yeah we're gonna have this combo. We might have to jump into that fast, but before we get there, man, let's tally up these scores for the Wii so we can kind of get our tier ranking going. I don't know if you guys have already added all your scores up, but I have done mine, so I will go ahead and start. Just to recap, I gave the console a 9. The controller also got a 9. Games I gave a 7. Graphics I gave a 5, and then Impact got a 10. And it's total 40 out of 50, which actually puts it right in. Oh no, right above Xbox. Okay, so right above Xbox, right under Dreamcast. Okay, but let's start with Carl. Carl, would you tally up?
All right. So remember, I gave console design a 5 because of everything. I remember the sensor, the
It's because of
block.
very
Yeah,
specific things.
it
But
got a 5,
okay,
but it got a 10 for controller, 10 for game category, a 4 for graphics because them Yanks is trash cans, and it got a 10 for impact, bringing it to a whopping 39.
right under one. Okay, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
All right.
close as I've been so far.
Console 7, controllers 10, graphics 8. Oh wait, my bad. Games 8, graphics 3, and impact 10. Gave me a total of 38, so I'm actually the low man on this.
It's honestly crazy how close we all were, like 1 point apart. As well. Okay, okay. I feel like that feels pretty accurate for the Wii. Tony, you got your like I know Carl, you don't have like a full tier list yet. We still gotta get you to do like your catch up and do all the consoles we did. But Tony, where does that put it in your like overall tier list?
Actually, before I do that, as a catch up, um, PS2, I have 7 for console appearance. I have 8 for controllers. I have a 9 for graphics.
Hmm,
I have a 10 for games and a 10 for impact. So that would put me for that. Wow, that's actually pretty high. That's a 44.
nice.
So
All right.
44 from a PS2.
Okay.
Which would put the Wii sixth on my list. After the Dreamcast, the PS2, which is 1 point above the Dreamcast, the GameCube and the SNES still sitting atop at 47.
Nice. Okay. I am not mad at that at all. I forgot that you weren't on that PS2 episode, which was just heartbreaking to miss, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
we gotta have an episode where we talk about our
James still has to
tiers.
get his catch up shit. I don't know if he did
We
his on the other one.
Everybody but me has missed at least something, you know what I mean? And now you've caught up, but we're gonna have like a recap episode. I want to talk about this tier list because we're putting together kind of a cool list here. And like we can kind of like talk about the way consoles rank and like maybe like I maybe we'll do like an actual tier and see how much it lines up with what we've got, who comes the closest or whatever. But
I was genuinely surprised that you gave the Wii the highest score. I feel like you were shitting on it the most.
really, I
Yeah.
mean, I I love the Wii, honestly. Like at this point in time, I really do appreciate what the Wii was. I have very strong opinions about the direction Nintendo took. Like games and graphics was going to get that smoke. Like y'all did that shit on purpose. Y'all know what y'all was doing, and I did not appreciate it as a consumer. But I do appreciate all the good things about the Wii. You know what I mean? And I had to give it its props.
The Wii is kind of like how Stevie Wonder had all them classics, and then he went and did Conversation Piece. It's like it's some dope shit on there, but then there's a song about Stevie bragging about how good he fucks, and it's like, hey,
Well, we don't need to dip into that side of things. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Everybody has their sellout moments, and I don't mean that in the bad just the bad connotation that it means. I mean, y'all sold out with that bitch, but y'all also kind of like let everybody do whatever. That shit was a free for all, and this is my one chance to get my shots in. But I appreciate that we got to have this frank convo about the Wii. I love where it landed on my list. But I want to hear from like the audience. So definitely make sure you guys leave some comments below, man. Like and subscribe if you like the content because we come out with episodes every week. We want to make sure that we keep this train going, man, and making Eclipse 30 Games a show for you guys. But I think it's about time we go ahead and wrap this one up, man. Until next time, I am Kendall. This has been Carl and Tony, and make sure you guys keep